The next song is called Clear. Clear is a song about sort of has a more spiritual, metaphysical sort of undertones to it. It's essentially about clarifying one's own awareness or consciousness to have an expanded sense of self.
It's all about this life, but I feel like I've lived here 1,000 times, stuck in a maze. But my face pretty much still looks the same.
My teacher, Ryan Kursak, that's how he describes sort of enlightened states of consciousness, is that we are trying to clarify our awareness to have a grander perspective, or to put our limited sense of self from the perspective of our eternal sense of self. And so I think it turned out pretty well. This is actually one of the few songs I put out like a B-sides early like rendition of it, just because I really like that version as well. I enjoy when artists put out like B-sides of their other tracks, have like a slightly different feel to it. So I thought it turned out pretty okay. Track number 13 is called Psychic. Psychic is about metaphysical, spiritual desires that transcend physicality, essentially. My primary love language is physical touch, but the very first lyric in this song is like, I don't need a physical touch. A psychically toned blush is all that I need. Essentially, it's about this reaching desire for the eternal, the transcendent. And I sort of humanize this, or sort of anthropomorphize this into like divine Sophia or divine wisdom, the goddess, so to speak. And so it's about that, like reaching for that.
I don't need a physical touch. A cyclically toned blush is more than enough for me. Tell me, what do you think about? What brings the wonder out?
First songs I wrote after a while on my electric guitar, and slightly inspired by sort of like an early John Mayerish tone. Track number 14 is called September. September is a song that I wrote a few years ago, and I forget what sort of inspired this. It's about daydreaming, getting lost in my own imagination, and just sort of enjoying a fall afternoon, being by myself.
Getting lost in all my thoughts, remembering a sweet tune. I love you.
Writing music. And it's a pretty short song. The music video that I made for this was actually pretty cool. So yeah, that turned out okay. Track number 15 is called Individual I. Individual I is about individuation, finding one's own individuality in relationship to you might say, the wholeness of life, the totality of existence. And so it's like this desire to maintain one's individuality, but expand that to something that's greater. And yeah, this was actually, I took a trip to Utah in 2018, and this was sort of, it wasn't directly inspired by that trip, but it was just the overall vibe, feeling of Utah. The mountains that I went to were really beautiful, and it was like, wow, I'm trying to find myself in these mountains.
So why can't we try to find our individual
life? Track number 16 is called Spiral. Spiral is about trying to forget about someone who you're attracted to, because it will never work out, and so you're trying to sort of put them out of sight, out of mind. but it's hard because when you ever think about them, you start spiraling into like what could have been, what would be like an ideal life or experience with this person. But in reality, it's not going to work out. And this was my experience too. I really liked someone and it wasn't a good fit, and yet I kept on in my mind like, but it could be, but it wasn't.
We're so close yet we're so far away. And I hate that I write about you every day, 'cause I'm still so happy and cold. I can't let this go.
Track number 17 is called Life's Everything. This is a pretty special song to me. It's about being a creative type of person and really enjoying creating, but at the same time feeling as if it's not a burden. A burden's way too strong of a word, but it's almost like this constant internalized pressure to create. I told my cousin one time that if I'm not creating, I feel like I'm dying. And there's like just this internal push, this need to create something. And it's hard to take breaks. It's hard to relax sometimes, to take a break from like your mental activity, because there's always something that I'm trying to express or feel. And I feel this via writing, poetry, books, music, painting. And so it's an enjoyable process, but it's hard to sort of shut off that part of my mind, my brain sometimes.
Waiting out on the brink, I've been trying to swim and not sink, and life's everything.
The next song is called Breath and Songs. This, like the dance, there isn't much to talk about in this particular song. Essentially, I was one afternoon writing or playing guitar, and I found some nice chords again. I like how this sounded. And it's essentially about like revealing aspects of yourself to someone who you feel insecure about. those aspects of yourself, your personality.
Peer into the secret parts of me that I haven't shared with anybody. Don't turn your eyes to me, they make it hard to breathe.
And you feel like it's you kind of are out of breath, and songs to sort of express this space, you go over in your head. So the next song is called Mabodo. Mabodo is actually one of my favorite instrumental songs on this mixtape. I think there might have been only 2 songs in here that are actually full instrumental, and Mabodo is one of them. I wrote this a few years ago, and I was on this sort of turnover summer high, and I felt really creative, and this song came out. No lyrics, just a nice guitar vibe that I like. The next song is called In Case. In Case is a really interesting song. This is actually another one of my favorite songs, like musically, and it's essentially about wanting a relationship to work out, but there's something that's hindering it, whether that's distance, whether that's just the logistics of whatever may be happening. It's not going to work out, but it's like, I'm here just in case it does work out, or may work out in the future.
And tides of solace remind me as to why I stay up late at night, so bewildered by my mind. I write it all down.
So that's what that's about. Yeah, it's one of my favorite tracks on here. And much like Man Today Was Lovely, I enjoy listening to this song just because, so I'm glad I wrote it. The next song is called Pop Punk. Pop Punk is actually, this title is actually humorous to me because I just thought I'll just call it Pop Punk. And essentially it's about seeing someone on a regular basis, whether that's at the gym or your coffee shop or bookstore, wherever place you frequent often, and you see someone who you're kind of attracted to, but you never talk to them, and but you enjoy going to those places to see them, like a gym crush. Like a gym crush, and then like either you or whoever they stop showing up, and so you just stop seeing them, and you're like, oh, you don't come around like you used to.
Won't you ever come back around? My God, it's been enough time.
And sort of like a sad feeling, even though you never actually spoke. So that's what that's about. Musically, I think it's okay. It's, again, not one of my favorites, but I enjoyed writing it, I suppose. Track number 22 is called Ballad 9. This song is really interesting because it originally was called Ballad 8. I got that title from the acoustic cover from Static Dress earlier on this mixtape called Attempt 8. So I thought it'd be cool to sort of have Ballad 8 alongside Attempt 8. And then I changed We'll See This Through to Ballad 9. And then I took that away and I changed that title. It's like, well, I'll use Ballad 9. I like Ballad 9 more than Ballad 8. So this one turned to Ballad 8. And this song is essentially about this idea of like ego death. I'm not the biggest fan of that phrasing of that idea, but I think if you know what ego death is, it's just you can understand what I'm trying to say.
Let's end this in silence and bring back the balance now. Will you love me forever? 'Cause there's not a better sound.
Track number 23 is called Cancerian Song. Cancerian Song is, I wrote this like 3 or 4 years ago, I think, right after or soon after my first mixtape Minutes. And it's just a song about me being a Cancer myself and sort of the emotional tsunami that water signs experience. Especially since if you're into astrology, my sun and moon are both in Cancer and my ascendant signs in Pisces. So basically my big 3 are all water signs. So this song is actually a bit kind of meme-ish or humor-ish, but it's like, well, this is an experience of Cancer, so.
And it's just like myself to wallow up and dry these watery eyes. Cancerians cry too much.
I think I'm going to call it there. We got through like another 12 or 13 or so songs, so we have a few more, so I'll probably do part 3 to finish this off. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.